What's up, guys? So, I'm here to give you guys the updates about the semifinals. Congrats to the fucking Penguins for eliminating the Capitals in the semifinals, and the Lightning eliminating the Islanders also. So, the Eastern Conference Finals will be the Penguins and the Lightning. Alright, so let me go ahead and tell you guys what happened. We were able to get a couple of wins, but it didn't really matter. Game one, we won in overtime, 4-3, and I really didn't have nothing to say other than a good start because you really can't say much after game one. Game two, we lost 2-1. So I'm thinking after they tie the series, well, let's see how we do in Pittsburgh. Game three, we got off to a late start. We got into the third period, getting shut down 3-0, and it was too big of a deficit to overcome. We were able to score a couple of goals, but we ended up losing 3-2. Couldn't force overtime. All right, so then game four happens in Pittsburgh, and we lose in overtime 3-2. And by that point, we're down 3-1 in the series. Game five's in DC, and I'm thinking, are the Penguins going to lose on purpose to try to end the series off in Pittsburgh, or are they just going to put us away, or are the Capitals going to pull their head out of their ass? Well, we won 3-1 in Game five. We forced a Game six in Pittsburgh, but unfortunately for us, we got eliminated in overtime 4-3. And I think part of the reason why was because we started off late. We were down 3-1 in the third period, and we scored two goals to send it into overtime. And a thing I've been noticing that's been happening a lot, that as me being a Capital fan for the past 2 years, is that we can't seem to win in overtime for some reason. We're 1-5 in overtime, and I think part of that is because we have a bad goalie, and that's what our weakness is the shootout. And you know, if we want to go to the Stanley Cup Finals and win and become NHL champs, I mean, we're gonna have to learn how to win in overtime. I mean, nobody in the NHL should have been able to get through us. Nobody. I mean, every day goes by my mind thinking, are the Capitals ever going to win the Stanley Cup? They've been in the NHL for 41 years and they don't have a title yet. They're the only Washington, D.C. team that has never won the Stanley Cup. Well, I mean, they've never won a title. I mean, the Nationals, when they were called the Senators, they won the World Series once. It's been almost a century, but yeah, they've won. The Wizards have won a couple of times, not being called the Wizards, being called the Bullets. DC United has won it 4 times, and the Redskins have won it 5 times, And this is the second time we've won the President's Trophy. Now, we got further than we did the first time, according to some of the fans, but we still weren't able to grab the cup this year. And that aggravates me, It makes me feel like, no matter what seeded team we are, we're going to get eliminated. I mean, we've got to learn how to win in overtime. We've only went to the Stanley Cup once, looking at the NHL history, and we've lost it. In fact, we didn't even get a win. We got swept in the Stanley Cup. The biggest concern of the Capitals playoffs, the only concern I really had was against the Pittsburgh Penguins. And because the Flyers barely got into the playoffs, and then the Penguins came up next, and I knew this was going to be an aggressive series, but I still figured we were going to able to win this game. You know, I mean, I figured we could find a game plan in Pittsburgh, force a game 7, and then maybe put them away there, play the Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals, but that didn't happen. So, I mean, the only thing really next to say is that, you know, there's always next year, but in reality, I don't know how the Capitals are going to get any better. You know, the only thing that'll be better is if they move on to the Eastern Conference Finals next year. You know, they won less playoff games this year than they did last year. Last year we won 7 games, got eliminated by the Rangers in the semifinals. We were winning 3-1. We lost in overtime 3 games in a row, got eliminated. This year we won 6 playoff games as the number 1 seed. You know, so that's all I got to say. Hopefully better luck happens during the Capitals' 42nd year. And I'll be on here to announce the Redskins' 2016 schedule in a few days. Later, DC Nation.